You, Dad. This is Maddox, the son of you. You're a big fat jerk. Do you know that? We don't like you anymore. This is the last time you'll hear of me. Okay? Bye.
Viewer discretion is advised for this educational documentary. It is often said that opposites attract, and I do believe that in relationships this is often rather true. One person may be creative and messy, and the other may be logical and organised. But what happens when these opposites are more extreme in nature? What if one partner was loving, hard-working, funny and upbeat? But what if the other was cruel, lazy and acts in reprehensible ways? This is the true story of Jacque Waller. Welcome or welcome back to CASE Documentaries. I bring you true crime, disturbing stories and other things that you may later regret knowing, with at least 2 new videos every week. Please do join the quickly growing CASE family by hitting subscribe now and turning on notifications. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me. Our love and respect goes out to those that knew and loved Jacque. Jacque Waller was about to break free from a life that no longer gave her what she needed. In 2011, at 39 years old, Jacque lived in Missouri, USA and had been blessed with triplets. She was successful in her career as a manager at an insurance business. However, something wasn't right. Her husband Clay Waller moved from job to job. He had multiple affairs. Jacque was a main breadwinner and caregiver to their children. Clay wasn't liked by his in-laws or Jacque's sibling. The marriage of Jacque and Clay was officially broken. Jacque asked for a divorce and Clay eventually agreed. She was about to experience the freedom that she had so desired for such a long time. On June 1st, 2011, Jacque and Clay went to their lawyer's office to sign some divorce-related paperwork. They then went their separate ways. After leaving the lawyer's office, Jacque made a call to her sister, Cheryl. At this time, Jacque and the kids were living in Cheryl's house. Jacque told her that she was about to go to Clay's house to pick up their son, Maddox. However, it was to be a fleeting visit, and Jacque assured Cheryl that she would return home soon. Jacque never returned home. Cheryl was in a panic by 7 o'clock that evening. Jacque had not returned her call despite her many attempts. Cheryl had also tried to call Clay several times, and eventually he called her back. He assured her that he would inform her if he did indeed see Jacque. Cheryl went into sister mode. She immediately drove the hour to Clay's house, which was located in Jackson. However, on the way, she dropped into the police station. She told them, hauntingly, "I know Clay killed my sister." Let's investigate a little why she had such strong feelings about her sister's fate. What was it about Clay that convinced Cheryl that he had murdered her sister before Jacque had even officially gone missing? Jacque at one time adored Clay. She cherished taking care of him. Clay had a stammer and spoke quietly, which meant that Jacque would often have to speak up for him, protecting her beloved husband. Seemingly happy enough as a couple, they tried to grow their family. Therefore, Jacque was overjoyed when she learned that she was pregnant. And she was astonished when she gave birth to 3 lovely children. Triplets, 2 girls and 1 boy. Jacque readily embraced parenthood. It seemed like this was what she was born to do, to be a mother. She was able to care for the 3 kids, provide nighttime feedings and maintain a 40-hour work week. She was more than capable of providing for her children's needs, both at home and financially. A real supermum. On the opposite side of the spectrum, there was Clay. While he claimed to love his kids, he didn't do anything to provide for them, either emotionally or financially. Stan and Ruby Rawson, Jacque's parents, didn't like him either, and it wasn't hard to see why. He changed jobs frequently and began having extramarital affairs. Jacque was also subjected to physical and emotional abuse at the hands of Clay. Jacque reached a point where she had to put an end to this situation. It wasn't good for anyone involved, much less the kids. If she divorced Clay, she will be able to take care of her children and give them a happy environment, something that was incredibly important to Jacque. She informed Clay that she was considering leaving and would take the kids with her if she did. The following year, Clay started threatening Jacque. She felt uneasy. She had a lot to lose and a lot to live for. So much so that she recorded everything he said to her in a journal that she kept at work. She recorded his direct threats, such as, a divorce would be her death sentence. She even wrote that Clay was threatening to kill the triplets. He promised her that he would take them fishing and throw them overboard. Wisely, Jacque relocated to live with Cheryl, her spouse Bob, and their kids. There, this blended family were happy. This new setup worked well for everyone. Everyone, that is, but Clay. But it appeared like things were calming down with Clay after a short while. When their divorce was set to be finalised, Jacque had started dating once more. This shouldn't have been much of an issue. Clay also did likewise, not to mention his history of infidelity. Cheryl, with everything she knew about the situation, simply knew something horrible had happened, and that there was only one person to blame when Jacque didn't come home on June the 1st. Back to June the 1st, and officers in Jackson took Cheryl at her word when she stepped into the police station that evening. An officer was dispatched right away to Clay's home. Clay admitted to the policeman that he had been with Jacque that day. They first met at Walgreens at about 11 AM. They went to eat lunch. They took some time to explore the town on their own. And then they met together at the attorney's office at 3 PM to sign some paperwork. He claimed that she then returned to his home to talk about the divorce. He said they did have a minor argument, but she left afterwards on foot. When he went back to the house after going out and looking for her, her car was now gone, indicating that she had departed already. The police then located Jacque's vehicle. At first, it appeared that the tyre had blown while she was driving, so authorities then investigated whether she had taken a ride with someone, dialed 911, or something more sinister like she had been kidnapped. However, a closer look at the tyre showed she hadn't actually driven over anything. The tyre had been pierced when the vehicle was parked.
I think from 6 o'clock last Wednesday evening, I don't think Jackie's on this earth anymore. I think we're talking about retrieving her body is what we're talking about.
While they want to stay hopeful, Stan and Ruby Rawson believe their daughter is never coming home.
You just don't have any other hope, really, that they'll find her alive.
Last seen here off Woodland Drive in Jackson last Wednesday. Jacque Waller's parents say she was supposed to pick up her son at her estranged husband's home. Instead, her SUV was found abandoned off Interstate 55 near Fruitland.
God, I wished I could tell you some of the stuff I really know about the evidence and everything, but I can't do it.
Stan Rawson, not wanting to jeopardize the investigation, shifts his focus to talking about his daughter.
She loved her babies, them triplets. She just loved them to pieces. Her life was those triplets and her work.
She was just always a sassy, funny, witty girl, and we just really enjoyed her.
Her loved ones say her biggest accomplishment, no doubt, her children.
Police examined Clay's description of the day that Jacque vanished. CCTV footage showed that he did see Jacque at the Walgreens at around 11 AM. They also saw Jacque at around 2 PM, and this was the last time that she was captured on video. They also found footage of Clay from that evening. He was dressed differently than he was earlier in the day when he had been captured in a toy store. Even more CCTV footage revealed Clay scrubbing his boat. Police were having trouble pinning down the timeline of the day. They had no idea what had happened to Jacque or where she was, nor did they know Clay's exact movements on June the 1st. Clay's obtuse attitude would soon cause him some issues. He walked about town making fun of the police and threatened Jackie's relatives. He warned them not to look for anything, not to look for their beloved Jacque. He would honk his car horn as he drove past Jackie's family's homes, harassing and intimidating them. He couldn't hide the vile man that he was, nor could he seem to keep his mouth shut. He continued to threaten people close to Jacque.
Might be willing to say a few words today?
Well, I'll say it after the thing.
Okay.
I'll say it after the thing.
Is there anything you'd like to say beforehand? Anything to the community or?
I just miss my wife and my kids, and we're just trying to fight to see them.
Do you think you'll get that?
Well, I hope so. I mean, it's been a hard time for us all. So we're just gonna keep hoping for the best. Well, I can't change how people feel. I mean, there's a lot of emotions that are running high right now. We're all just sad. It's just sad on both sides of the fence here.
And still want to let people know that you didn't have anything to do with what's going on here, and you want what everyone else wants. You want to find your wife.
For sure, yeah. We want her to come home alive.
Clay threatened Cheryl online after the court granted her custody of the triplets 4 months after Jacque vanished. There he remarked, "You are dead." Those 3 short words will be enough to foil his reign of terror. Clay was arrested for the federal crime of threatening Cheryl's life.
And jacked around, and if you guys know so much, figure it out. I don't know what to tell you. I had nothing to do with nothing.
Clay received 5 years in prison after entering a guilty plea. This incarceration gave police the time they needed to develop a case against him in connection with Jacque's disappearance, while also ensuring that an obviously dangerous man was taken off the streets and was no longer a threat to the community. Time was needed because police and prosecutors had to build a very strong case based solely on circumstantial evidence in the absence of a body. All in all, it took 2 years to do this. A charge of the first-degree murder of Jacque plus evidence tampering were brought against Clay. Although Clay was a target of a compelling prosecution, circumstantial evidence is always a challenge to gain a conviction from. Police dug deeper and searched Clay's home once more. They saw evidence of bloods on the wall in the hallway and a carpet had been removed. In the basement, they discovered the ripped-up carpet. It had been torn into strips, but it was obviously stained with blood. This blood matched with Jacque's. A plea deal was presented to Clay. Jacque's mum and dad approved of this plea agreement. Their ability to bring Jacque home was now all they wanted. The agreement was that if Clay informed the police what he did that night and where Jacque was, he could plead guilty to second-degree murder and only receive up to 20 years in prison. Clay then took them to Devil's Island. When they arrived at Devil's Island, Clay was unable to recall the precise location of Jacque's grave. He was aware of the body's presence but was unsure of exactly where it was. But thankfully, one of the officers located Jacque's skeletal remains.
Emotionally, it's been a roller coaster, and it was hard. So hard.
I know the kids are just now learning all this too, so you're going to have to deal with their emotions on top of yours, but I'm sure putting theirs first in this process.
Yes, we are. We sit down and talk to them, all of us together, and they have a lot of questions, and we don't have the answers for them.
It was devastating to them, but they'll be okay. They know we all love them so much.
Is it just unbelievable to think you're at that point? I mean, knowing how many times we've talked and it's been the unknown and the unknown.
Oh, yes.
To finally be there.
Yeah, like I said, something you prayed for 2 years, and then it's here and you're going, I'm overwhelmed. I said, we waited on God, and that's what it's been all this time. I said, it's in His time and not ours, but that's so hard when you're going through it at that time.
If you pray for rain, you ought to carry an umbrella. And no wonder, we didn't have enough faith, I guess. He does things in his own time.
By May the 29th, 2013, nearly 2 years have passed since Jacque's vanishing. Police wanted to know what had happened to Jacque. Clay was now ready to talk. He said he invited her over to end their marriage with one final sexual encounter. He said that there was blood in the hallway because when they were in the kitchen, they unintentionally knocked heads. Jacque then began to bleed from her nose. He said that Jacque then started yelling at him, claiming that he wouldn't see the kids again, and she would tell everyone that he beat her up, which made him lose it. In a fit of rage, he said he only dealt one blow to the face, and then he pressed his arm against her neck. Then she simply stopped moving. He said the act was without prior planning. and that he did it only after she threatened him with the potential that he might never see his kids again. It was clear to the police that his account was not completely truthful. In reality, when Jacque arrived at Clay's, it was indeed to pick up her son, Maddox. However, she was unaware that Maddox wasn't even home. He was at Clay's then current romantic partner's house. Additionally, Clay said that he punched her only once, but the autopsy results refuted this. Jacque had several fractures and signs of blunt force found during the autopsy. Although Clay was caught in his lies, to him it no longer mattered. The plea agreement limited his sentence to 20 years at most. However, there was one particular detail he shared during his confession that he would later come to regret. He admitted to the police that he had dug a grave for Jacque's remains the day before. This was in contrast to his claims that he made the decision to take her life on the spot, in an act of passion. But Clay's most damaging mistake was that by digging the hole, he actually travelled into Illinois from Missouri and then came back with the purpose to end Jacque. That meant he might be charged with violating the Interstate Domestic Violence Act. This carries a 35-year term and only kicks in after the 20-year sentence for murder is served.
You need to be apologetic and remorseful.
I'm not. I'm gonna stand up in court tomorrow and tell everybody themselves. Why should I care what they're going through if they don't care what I'm going through? You understand me?
No, I don't. You're not the victim, Clay.
It happened 2 years ago. I just want to move on. I'm sorry, I'm going to jail. That's it.
When their father killed their mother, the triplets were just 5 years old. Maddox's victim impact statement was read aloud in court.
Dear Dad, this is Maddox, the son of you. You betrayed... You two did. You killed our mom. You betrayed your kids, you big fat jerk. You're a big fat jerk. Do you know that? I wish you were never my dad. You big fat jerk. I never want to see you again for my entire life. We don't like you anymore. This is the last time you'll hear of me. Okay? Bye.
Clay was sentenced to the full 55 years in prison. Do you think the punishment fits the crime here? Let me know down in the comments. Join the Dark Case family by hitting subscribe now and turning on notifications for at least 2 new videos every week. Like this video to boost the signal with the case. Thank you to all my patrons: Rachel David, Kathy Green, David James, Addie Alexander, Karen Jones, Elle Palmieri, James Harrington, Shane Woodward, Faster River, Stacey Krogerus, Summer Chambers and Mona Corona. Be careful out there and I'll see you soon.